In this video, I'm going to share some improvements that were made to my Mini-Lathe station and tell you the story of how those improvements came about. Well, hello everybody, it's Jimmy and I'm back at my shop here in Stuart, Florida. It's a beautiful March morning, about 75 degrees, and I've got all the doors open and getting some air through the shop today. Just in the shop working on my little mini drill press, but I thought I would just take a minute and talk a little bit about some improvements that were made to my Harbor Freight Mini-Lathe. I've got a buddy by the name of Teddy Dillard, and he's got a shop about 1.5 miles from here, and we've been friends for a long time, and we swap materials and tools back and forth, and occasionally he has a need to do a little bit of machining, and so I'm always happy to have him use my Mini-Lathe. And he's quite an experienced machinist, and he came over one day and he was making some aluminum parts for a replica Harley-Davidson gas tank that he scratch built. And this thing is really quite a work of art now that it's done. But he cut the aluminum parts for the gas tank on my lathe, and while he was here he was talking to me about some improvements that I might make to the station to make it more pleasurable to use the tool. And these are things that I've seen others do, putting it on a new base and so forth. They had several suggestions for me, and I said, yep, those are all great ideas, and I've had those things on my list for a long time, but life being what it is, haven't been able to get to it. And I went on a road trip here recently with my wife, and while we were gone, before we left, Teddy said, hey, why don't you let me take your Mini-Lathe to my shop and I'm gonna work on it. And I said, okay. And about 2 weeks after I'd been on the road, he texted me some photos, and I was really blown away by everything that he had done. So I just want to share with you some of the improvements that were made to the station, and I also want to really thank you, Ted, for the work that you did, and I can't thank you enough. It's really a great improvement in my shop. I learned from watching some of the videos from Dave M. and others that the motor can ingest swarf over time, and so you want to put something to block the chips from getting in the motor. Now, I had put a tape over the hole on the previous setup, but what Teddy did here is he actually built a nice little aluminum blocker here, and you can see that it's riveted into the box back there. There is a 45-degree reinforcer here for this backplate, and it has twofold function. One is it directs the chips down and makes them easier to get, but it also provides reinforcement for this back plane here. I noticed right away that he had put a chip guard on the back of the apron, because the Swarf gets in the gears, and a lot of you have figured this out already and done this fix. This was on my list to do, but he went ahead and cut a little chip cover and put it in place there. And I mean, look at this thing. It is so nicely made. The hole's positioned really nice for the pinion there, and he's even dimpled this out a bit, I guess for the shaft. I'm not sure why that had to be done. And he's got a couple of Phillips head and a cap screw there, so that's been machined into the casting. So I'm just delighted. I cannot believe he went to all this trouble. The shelves have a lip that's something like a 1/2 inch, and of course the thing is going to vibrate just a little bit, and so to prevent stuff from rolling and falling, that lip is there to hold the parts in place. Now, the mounting is interesting here. The cast base has a threaded hole here that the original pan was mounted to, and the feet. And so what Teddy has done here is he has actually cut another little plate and bolted that to the feet, and then created holes on both sides. So he's got this threaded down into the wood here, and that's really quite a nice strong arrangement. And this chip guard that was originally on here is mounted onto the ways, and so it just created a shelf where all the chips would collect. And so what Teddy has done is he's taken that off here and replaced it with this thin piece that has kind of a chevron top. And the idea here is that chips when they hit this, they'll fall. They have the opportunity to fall all the way down. You should not collect as many chips in this area. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Well, here's the parts that are left over here. The backsplash, this is the, of course, the chip tray, and then this is the guard that went over the top of the lead screw. And I even have the feet here, these nice rubber feet and all their fasteners. So those will go into my junk drawer, and I'm sure I'll be able to get use out of these down the road.